Bright and early. Goodness gracious. Man, oh man. What a week, what a week. The year's almost over. That's good. Maybe next year will be better. I'm getting old. I was walking my kids down a hill. Thomas was in a stroller. James was riding on this thing on the back of it. And I jammed my foot going down a hill. Apparently I'm now too weak to walk down a hill carrying a stroller. That's unfortunate. Such is life. We have something new we're trying. Brain Fuel. New drink. Made by somebody I know. Supposed to be super good for you. So they claim. Either is or it isn't. But, it's supposed to be very, very healthy alternative to things like coffee. Can you raise the volume a little bit? No, I cannot. You can raise the volume on your side, though. Has protein, MCT oil, vitamin C. It's new. They could probably work on the packaging. I can barely read the packaging. But I know this stuff is good. It tastes kind of like a coconut drink. There's coconut, lots of coconut oil in it. You're going to miss the caffeine. Well, they claim one bottle of this, you'll be good to go all day. Tastes good. Check it out. It's called Brain Fuel. They just launched. Sound seems a bit muffled. Well, I'll move you closer to me. How about that? Can I move you closer to me? All right. If you don't like the volume on Instagram, go to youtube.com/pokercoaching. All right. Would you tune in and hire a coach in 1998? What? What does that even mean? In 1998, would I have hired a poker coach? Sure. I'd always hire a poker coach in 1998. Back in the day, when nobody knew what they were doing, you should probably hire someone to help you. Just like today. When people know what they're doing, you should probably hire someone to try to help you. Would $12 rake be too much at 1-3? Yeah. Absolutely. Would you pay anyone? What do you mean? Would I pay anyone? Literally anyone? I don't know what you're asking, Avi. I have no clue what you're even asking me here. You should not hire anyone to coach you at anything because most people don't know anything about most things. You should pay legitimate professionals who've already beat the thing that you have done. Discuss playing in the small blind. Oh, I do that a lot at pokercoaching.com. Check out pokercoaching.com/free. If you check out the Tournament Masterclass or the Cash Game Masterclass, those go in depth on how to play the small blind. Okay? Let's see. To advise how to gamble. Should you hire a coach to advise you how to gamble? Depends on what gambling game you're playing. Some gambling games have a house edge that does not change based on the bet you make. Some games have a slightly changing house edge. And some games have, well, things like rake, right? So it depends on what you're trying to accomplish. All right. Today, we're going to be discussing how to stay motivated. In the study session today, they're going to be reviewing Galen's scores, one of our poker coaching members who had two $5,000 scores this week. Nice. If you're a poker coaching member, head over to the Discord. Get in study sessions right after this show is over and, learn from Galen, who's out there crushing it. Good job, good work. All right. How do we stay motivated? And I'm sure this term, this sentence, this phrase is going to hit all of you rather differently. Because some of you have issues with staying motivated with your job. Some of you have issues staying motivated with work. Like your poker study. Say work. When I say work, to me, work means poker study. Some of you have issues staying motivated when it goes to actually playing poker. Some of you have issues staying motivated when it comes to going to the gym, right? And first things first, I think a very easy way to stay motivated to do something is to love what you are doing. Now, I understand some things you may not especially love doing, like, brushing your teeth, right? You brush your teeth every day. Most people probably don't look at brushing their teeth and view it with an immense amount of love, but at the same time, you'd rather have your teeth than not, right? And you have to realize that you have options. You have alternatives. You can do different things when it comes to brushing your teeth. You can brush your teeth and keep your teeth. You can not brush your teeth and not keep your teeth. You get to pick. It's your decision. Most of us would pick brush your teeth and you're good to go. So once you have determined these things, either consciously or unconsciously, subconsciously, unconsciously, subconsciously, I guess, huh? Once you've determined that you want to do these things, you start developing habits around them, like brushing your teeth. I don't even think about brushing my teeth anymore. I wake up and I brush my teeth. And before I go to bed, I brush my teeth. You just do it, right? So a lot of things like that are kind of obvious, right? The things that are much more difficult are the things like studying poker or your job. What got me thinking about this is someone posted on Twitter that they were talking about tipping and minimum wage and all this. And they basically said something to the effect of, well, if people don't get tips, then they won't do a good job. And that kind of like irked me the wrong way. I don't know. I didn't really like that statement. The fact that people think that if you're not tipped, you should in turn purposefully do a poor job. Or maybe just because maybe you do a better job when you are getting tipped. Like, I mean, I don't think I've ever been tipped at my poker job, that's for sure. Maybe every once in a while, but not all that often. And I don't show up and do good work because I'm hoping to get tipped, right? I show up and do good work because I love helping all of you, and I love playing poker, and I love my job, right? When I used to work at the airport, we would get tips sometimes. But I can tell you, honestly, I did not expect any tips. I did not think I was doing my job to hopefully get tips. I was helping the people because that was my job, right? It was my job to go there and help pilots or mechanics or whatever do whatever they need with their airplanes. That was my job back in the day. And the idea that someone thinks that I, or perhaps anybody, would do poorly is annoying to me. People keep saying to turn it up louder on Instagram. I'm going to turn it off on Instagram. That's annoying to me. Look, if you're watching on Instagram, apparently the sound's no good today. I don't know what to tell you. Go to youtube.com/pokercoaching, please. Yeah, Phil Helms was giving away money because he's Santa Claus apparently. And someone said, oh, he's only giving away $100 tips, blah, blah, blah. Only $100 tips to people. We got to realize, like, people are happy when you give them tips, don't get me wrong. But the idea that you should do a good job hoping for a handout feels a little funny to me. Feels a little bit off. So, how do you stay motivated, assuming you are not necessarily doing the thing for the money? To be fair, if you have employees, if you're an employee, either one, a good way to motivate people is to pay people a lot. There have been a lot of studies, actually, among salespeople who are often paid on a commission salary, right? Or commission-based pay, where they get paid more if they sell more. It turns out most people don't actually want that. Most people want to have security. Once security is locked up, then they're happy to gamble a little bit more and play in this, rewards program where you get more more tips or more bonus or whatever if you do better. But most people, as long as their salary is paid to the point that they can live a reasonable life, that's when they start becoming okay with this tipping idea. But if people don't have their income met, they are going to be annoyed. They're going to be pissed. And to be fair, they should be. If they have a job that doesn't pay for their bills, it's tough. But most people do not naturally want to participate in that scheme. Yet somehow that's the scheme we found ourselves in, right? So anyway, assuming you're fine with your money, whatever, the question is, all right, people on Instagram keep complaining. All right, bye Instagram. Check out youtube.com/pokercoaching. Bye. Oh my God, complain. All right. That's done. They can go to youtube.com/pokercoaching. Okay. You gotta love what you do. At the end of the day, if you love what you do and you want to do it, you will show up and do a good job at that thing. So you have to figure out what you want. You need to sit down and actively figure out what you want out of life, what you want out of your job, what you want out of your career, what you want out of your relationships, right? You need to figure out what you want. Once you've figured out what you want, presumably the things you want are things that you love/desire, right? And once you figure those things out, you can start moving towards doing those things. And the problem is that a lot of people initially have ideas for things they want to be doing, but then they kind of fall out of love with it. Poker's a great example. If any of us have played poker for a long period of time, you know you've probably fallen out of love with poker every once in a while, right? And you have to make sure you're finding ways to fall back in love. So the question becomes, how can you fall back in love with something that you loved in the past and now you don't quite love it as much anymore? I think remaining grateful for your opportunities is very, very important. I'm certainly not the best at this. I mean, most people are probably not great at this because we have so many good things around us. We're kind of oblivious to the fact that we have so many good things around us. And that's a bit of a problem. I mean, look, the fact that I have this brain fuel drink, that's lucky. The fact that I have this nice cup that holds my water, it keeps it cold, that's very fortunate. We got this nice microphone to do this show, that's fortunate, right? You know what I mean? It's like, we all have so many good things that just become normal to us to the point that we become, I'm not going to say jaded, but we like forget, you know? We forget. I mean, beautiful example of this is kids with toys. James and Thomas got some toys yesterday for one of our friends, and they're fighting over which one gets to play with a new one. They completely forgot the other 100 toys they have because they're not new, they're not fresh, they're not in love with them anymore, right? And you have to get in there and rediscover your passion for the things that you actually know you want in life. Poker Shark said you discovered your passion for poker and now taking my tournament masterclass. Nice. Hope you learned a ton. So, how do you fall back in love? An easy way to fall back in love with something is to get away from it for a while. Live poker is a great example of this. I can't wait to go play live poker. In the past, I would kind of view live poker as almost I'm going to say a chore, but it was kind of like a chore, you know? It's kind of hard to get up and go play live poker. You have to get up, you have to leave your family for a while, you have to fly there, you got to deal with a lot of logistical issues, you have to sit down and play the game, all sorts of stuff like this, right? There's a lot to it. And if you have to do it all the time, it starts to become a bit of a grind. But after being locked up in this office for the last, how many months? 9 months? Goodness gracious. After being locked up in this office for 9 months, I'm ready to go play live poker anywhere. You know what I mean? And it's because I had to get away from it. They forced me to be away from one of my loves that I fell out of love with, or I didn't actually fall out of love. I knew I loved live poker. But if a lot of people out there fell out of love, they're ready to get back in there. That said, some people who played live poker a lot pre-COVID realized, I don't actually miss it, which is fine. It's okay to fall out of love. Just realize that changes your life and your setup, and that's okay, right? You're allowed to change. So essentially, I think you need to be grateful for the good things you have in life, recognize that you are grateful to have these good things in life, and make good use of the good things that you have in life. And Matthew says here he took 20 years off. Yeah, I mean, exactly. You take 20 years off, and 20 years will probably let you know really quick if you want something in your life or not. You have multiple time management apps, but you don't use any of them well. Motivation is easier organized. I'm not sure what that means. I have a calendar. I don't know why I am as motivated as I am to work so hard for all of you. It's not like we're getting paid infinite money or anything over here. I do it because I like it, you know? Why do I show up and like it every day, whereas we see lots of other people in the poker content space and the content space in general come, try it for a little while, and then just quit, or they disappear for 3 months at a time. Why do those people do that, whereas I do not? Because I'm telling you, I'm highly motivated to help all of you and to produce good content for all of you and try to better the poker world and the world in general. And I don't think that is necessarily common for a lot of people. And why is this happening for me? It's because I want to be doing it. It's really what it amounts to. I want to be doing it. I get paid a living wage to do it, you know? I mean, I had to build a business to get paid a living wage to do it. It took time, but it feels good is what it amounts to, right? And it feels good to help others. So, I mean, that's another thing I have written here is that if you start doing things to help others, that is going to make you generally feel good about what you are doing because you are bettering the world and you're not doing something only for yourself. Locust with the Prime sub, thank you. If you're watching this on Twitch, by the way, and you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free to one person per month. You got to go back and resubscribe every month. It gives them free money. I'm happy to take your free money. You can give your free money to other streamers, whatever you want to do. Let's see. How do you get coaching through poker coaching? Go to pokercoaching.com, click on the tools section, go to private coaching. There you go. John says, your passion for this is obvious. And maybe that's it, is that I found my passion. And I definitely think that it is important to explore lots of things so that you find things that you enjoy. And then, if you find something that you actually enjoy, perhaps figure out a way to make a career out of it. Because, you know, I think a lot of people view their job as work, as hard, as an annoyance, as something strenuous, right? But I don't think I've ever viewed any of my jobs like that. I viewed all of my jobs as something I'm going to do, something I'm going to use to better myself and help out other people. I mean, back when I used to work at the airport or at McDonald's a long time ago, I didn't view it as like, oh, I got to go to work now. And I don't know why I didn't view it like that. I viewed it as great. You get to go to work. You get to go make some money. Maybe that's it. You make some money. You pay your bills, and you have the opportunity to pay your bills where other people around you perhaps do not. I realize times are tough in this world right now, and the fact that some of us still have opportunities to make money is fantastic, right? And we should make full use of our amazing opportunities. So another way to stay motivated, though, is to do things for others. I guess in theory, I've actually been in the service industry to some extent a lot. I don't really view myself as in the service industry, but if you think about it, probably most businesses are serving others, right? When you work at McDonald's, you're giving people food. When you work at the airport, you're giving people gasoline and whatever else they need. When I worked at the comic book store, I'm giving people Magic the Gathering cards and comic books, right? Whenever I teach people to play poker, I am giving them educational content. Maybe that's something I didn't really necessarily know that I liked by like sitting down and actually thinking it out, but perhaps that's the case. But if you think about anything, like any job is giving people something, right? I mean, I guess there's some jobs where you're just straight up taking. I mean, I guess, to be fair, professional poker player. If you go and you're a professional poker player and you have your headphones on and your hoodies on and you're a jerk to everybody and you don't help out anyone and you're not fun to play with, yeah, you're probably a pure detractor to the economy. But if you are there having fun, enjoying yourself, helping others enjoy themselves, then you're actually a benefit because you're helping out other people. All right. PP for life, I'm not even sure what you're asking. Send us an email, support@pokercoaching.com. Let's see. Lots and lots of chat today. I want to thank all of you for being here. Making money at work is always plus EV, LOL. Yeah. The crazy thing is I didn't even spend my money. Never really spent the money that I made. Kind of weird, right? It's actually kind of neat. I was outside with James and Thomas yesterday in the blizzard. Because, you know, if there's a blizzard outside, you might as well go and go outside and test your mettle. And so we went outside, and there were like guardrails, and James was wiping the snow off the guardrails. And I'm like, "What you doing, James?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm doing work. I'm doing my work." He's like, "Leave me alone. I'm doing my work." That's exactly what he said to me. 4-year-old kid, almost 4-year-old kid, wanted to go out there and do his work that he decided made sense of cleaning the guardrails. Why does the 4-year-old want to go outside in the blizzard and wipe the snow off of the guardrails? I didn't tell him to do it. I don't know what possessed him to do it. But he wanted to do it. And when I'm like, come on, we got to go inside. Your brother's freezing. Because his brother's only 2 years old. It's probably not wise to take a 2-year-old outside in a blizzard. But, you know, such is life. He'll be strong. So he goes out there and he's wiping off the snow. And I have to like almost drag him inside because he wanted to do his work. And maybe there's like some innate motivation inside of people, but at the same time, I always tell them to help out other people, do good work, do a good job, and maybe some of that stuff sticks. Like what motivated him to do that? I don't know. He wanted to do it, right? He wanted to do that thing. So if he wanted to do that thing, he did it. If he didn't want to do that, I probably would have a very difficult time getting him to do that, right? So you need to find ways to motivate yourself that make you want to do things, perhaps things that you don't necessarily naturally want to do. Beautiful example, this is studying poker. A lot of people love playing poker, but they don't want to study poker. And you have to figure out how to make yourself want to study, right? And I know it's not as fun or engaging as getting in there and battling hard, but perhaps you can find ways that simulate that. What we try to do, pokercoaching.com. There we have quizzes that are very interactive. Basically, it's a series of 1 minute long videos or so where you have to make a decision at the end of every video. And then you get feedback in real time about your decision, and then you move on to the next hand or the next position, right? And that forces you to be engaged. It almost turns poker study into poker play. I know you don't have any money on the line, but you have a score on the line. People play video games all the time for no money because they want to get a high score, right? And we've tried to do that at pokercoaching.com compared to a lot of other training sites that just have a 40-minute long video where people pass out and fall asleep while they're watching it, right? Tammy says that you find that when you're not passionate to play, you watch poker shows on TV, and it motivates you to get back in there. Yeah, something I had written down, I wasn't sure if I was going to mention it, is the idea of like seeing others doing what you want to be doing can motivate you to do that. And the tough part is that I don't want you to think that you need to be jealous, right? Because I don't think jealousy is necessarily a good thing. I think seeing others succeed should provide you motivation to reach your full potential, right? And I think a lot of people get it in their minds that if somebody else has something and they don't, that they should be mad at them. But you should not be mad at them or jealous of them or jealous of life or jealous of whatever. You should instead be motivated by them and see what is possible. I mean, I can tell you, look, Jonathan Little is not naturally good at poker. I'm really not. I promise you I'm not. I was bad. I lost money the first 3 or 4 or 5 months that I played poker because I didn't know what I was doing. I had not studied. I will say I am better than most at sitting down and grinding and studying. I may actually be in the top 1% of people who can sit down and grind hard. Probably because I have severe ADD. But I'm really good at sitting down and learning, right? And I've tried to take all of my knowledge and resources that I've devoted the last, 17 years to learning, and I've distilled it and given it to you. We just released our tournament course recently. It's big. It's about 45 hours long. I know it says 30 plus hours long up here in the corner, but it's actually about 45 hours if you count all the hand history reviews. And 45 hours to learn most of what Jonathan Little knows about tournament poker is a heck of a deal if you think about it. It took me 17 years to learn it. It'll take you 45 hours. It's a lot. It's a lot of content. But that kind of thing is very beneficial, right? And what motivates me to sit down and make that 45 hours piece of content? Well, I want to help all of you. I don't want you to waste your time going through all of the hardships that I had to go through learning these things, right? Because I don't want you to have to devote even a year to learning the things that it took me 17 years to learn. And if I can help you learn all this in 45 hours, it's going to be well worth it, because then I save all of you a lot of time, effort, energy, hardship, and beating your head against the wall trying to learn these things. I'm presenting it to you on a platter, Kevin, send us an email, support@pokercoaching.com. Anytime anyone asks me a question that requires me to send them materials, answer some sort of in-depth question, realize we can't do that right now. Check it out. Send us an email, support@pokercoaching.com with any request. We have a great support team, and they will get that for you. Only 40 likes today. Well, look, most people are not motivated, and they don't want to be motivated. Drinking a new drink, Brain Fuel, giving it a try today. Check it out. BREINFUEL. They forgot how to spell brain. That's okay. This is Victory Bliss. Tastes smooth like a coconut smoothie. And they claim it's good for you. They claim it's good for you. It has a lot of vitamin C and a lot of vitamin E. Is vitamin C and vitamin E good for you? Probably. I remember reading that you actually have to drink or take supplements for vitamin C. When you take vitamin C, you take 20,000% of your daily dose because your body has a really, 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 really difficult time absorbing it. It's kind of weird, right? Weird stuff. Let's not get on nutrition. Nutrition turns into religion. Religion turns into politics. Sup, John, you should do these Monday and Friday. Well, starting next week, we're going to do them on Mondays, and only on Mondays. Why? Not because I lack motivation. I'm going to be spending the time doing other work for all of you, but because I think we could be doing better work. Tough, I know, right? It's a hard pill for me to swallow. Whenever you have any sort of career and you have a lot going on, it's very, very important that you do an assessment of what you are spending your time on. And, to be fair, it's not like I'm quitting the show, right? I'm still doing it on Mondays. But whenever you do something often and it takes a lot of time, that's a big expenditure, right? And if I spend, let's say, 4.5 hours each week doing the show, 4.5 hours times 52, 150 hours? It's 150 hours a year. It's a lot of content. Plus, I'm already making content on YouTube 7 days a week if I do a little coffee one day per week. 7 days per week of content. I'm not sure many other content creators out there are putting out 7 days worth of, or 7 videos per week. I don't know. Are there any in the poker space? Probably not. Were you bullied most in middle school or elementary school? Fun question. Do kids actually get bullied in elementary school? I don't know. I didn't really get bullied in elementary school. Middle school, some. High school, some. Eventually you learn to stand up for yourself, then they leave you alone. Let's see. Do you need motivation? Make babies, and the motivation will come naturally. That could be true. That definitely could be true. Whenever you do have children, you stop caring about yourself so much, and you start caring about your kids more. Right? But I'm not going to tell you to go out and have kids to get motivated, right? That's kind of silly. I also think that in order to stay motivated, you should work towards some sort of goal or some sort of achievement. Now, the problem with working towards achievements is that when you get the achievement, you'll feel happy for a second, and then you will not care anymore. It's important to make sure that you continue to care. And the thing is that accolades and achievements fade over time to the point that you no longer really care all that much about them. Kind of interesting. Look back here. We have all these trophies back here. You see all these trophies? Look. I have a whole bunch of trophies. It's going to sound bad. I don't care about the vast majority of them. The only one I do care about, one of the most recent ones, maybe that's why I still care, who knows, or maybe because you all gave it to me, GPI, People's Choice, Poker Personality of the Year. Thank you for giving me this one. Right here, right in the front. One of the ones that you cannot... So bright. Why is it so bright? It's one of the ones you cannot win by getting lucky. You have to play well to get this one. Whatever. There you go. Where did the Push Fold app go? It's at the Poker Coaching app. Search Poker Coaching in the App Store. It'll come right up. I think it's the third link down on the Poker Coaching app. Also, you have GTO apps, all sorts of stuff there. Free app. Go check it out. Poker Coaching app. But yeah, so I think you have to be careful with the idea of I'm going to chase titles or chase things like that, because I'm telling you, when you get things like that, everyone stops caring, and then some people feel empty. I don't really have this issue, but I've talked to a lot of people, and a lot of people have this issue where they get the thing they thought they were supposed to get, then they're like, oh my god, what do I do with my life now? And then they're just kind of lost, because they spent all this time, effort, and energy getting this thing, they got the thing, then they're like, oh, I don't really care. You have to learn to enjoy the journey, right? You have to enjoy the study, the process, the effort. But then you have to ask, like, if I don't really care that I got the thing, why am I still continuing to try to get more things, right? You don't want to be on a treadmill where you go and you just continue doing stuff for no actual reason, right? That just becomes sort of an addiction. You don't want to have addictions. So you want to ask, really, what do you actually want out of life? And if the things you are doing will not lead to you getting those things in life, you should change. And the nice thing about changing is that perhaps you fall in love with something new or something a little bit different, right? And like we said, falling in love will help you stay motivated. Do you gamble outside of poker? Not a ton. There are definitely times to gamble in order to get comps at specific casinos, but not really. Staying motivated requires learning how to cope with variance in life and in poker. I never really thought about that, but probably, right? Like, well, in poker, clearly if you get a bad run, then you need to not care about that. In life, I mean, yeah, say you get a demotion, right? At a job that you really want to succeed at. That may be enough to turn a lot of people off. I was actually very lucky. My first year of playing live poker, I did quite poorly. And that let me know what was possible in terms of running poorly. And it allowed me to not get discouraged when I had even worse runs in the future, right? Because you're all going to have bad runs if you play enough poker. And having the bad run initially helped me realize what was possible, where some of my peers, they would win a lot in their first year playing and then go on the bad runs, and they were just like completely not accustomed to it. And a lot of them got discouraged and quit or got broke because they gambled hard. They didn't know how to deal with the hardships that inevitably will come. Are there any poker accolades that you still like to win? I mean, this is the problem, right? Is that, like, I just don't care that much. Because I realize that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter all that much. It's kind of interesting, though, because, like, I did not decide to start a poker training site a long time ago. I just decided to make some content to help other people who wanted to get good at poker. And that sort of evolved into a poker training site. And my poker training site is obviously more successful because I have good accolades, right? So the fact that I did well at poker helped me in the marketing of my poker training site. It makes logical sense, right? If you have no accolades, nobody cares. If you have lots of accolades, people care. But do I need to win a tournament to feel complete? No, I really don't. But then you may say, why would you show up and still work hard and study hard? I don't know. That's a weird question, right? Because I want to, because I like it, right? It is fun to compete. It is fun to win. But will I be sad and depressed without a World Series bracelet for the rest of my life? Like, no, I honestly just don't care. Why do I not care? I don't know. I don't know why I don't care. Because I realize it doesn't matter, is what it amounts to. Obviously, I would like to win. I prefer to win, but I'm not going to be depressed if I do not happen to run hot. Let's see. The hard part is fall in love again with the same person. It's true. It's true. Going back to poker is the bitter love. A lot of people fall out of love with poker when they, like I said, win a lot at the beginning, then go on a sit down swing, and then they're like, this sucks, I don't like playing, it's no fun. I've had two World Series of Pokers where I've gone out there, felt like I played reasonably well, probably not my best, but certainly reasonably well, and I lost every tournament. I basically show up every day, I'd get my money, and I would hand it away to somebody else. I did that 40 days in a row. And I was actually very lucky that on the end of both of those, I won a WPT for $1 million. Turns out, winning $1 million after getting completely crapped on for a month and a half makes it all better. But you gotta wonder, what if those did not come? What if I just bricked 40 in a row, bricked another 10 in a row, bricked another 40 in a row, and then next thing you know, you have no money and you're a busto. Obviously, I wouldn't go busto because I would grind and play smaller and be smart about it, right? But I have been pretty lucky in my career to the point that I've never had any sort of egregiously long downswing. Because, I mean, like, I think I've played, what did I say, 14 years of live poker professionally? Does this year even count? Say I played 13 years of live poker. I probably won, 7 or 8 of them. Lost 5 or 6 of them, which is pretty good, right? And the wins are always, like, substantially bigger than the losses. So I've probably been pretty lucky, maybe because I'm actually good at tournament poker, or maybe I've just been lucky to have a relatively somewhat even distribution of cards. But to be fair, I've had 2 years that were amazing. Two amazing years out of 13 playing a lot, right? Like my life was devoted to this. A lot of people may look at that and say, wow, then you in theory have been quote unquote running bad for like 7 or 8 years. Like, it's been fine. I'm making some money. And I think expectations, right? People get expectations stuck in their mind. Like, say I win $1 million in a year. A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to win $1 million next year. But like, you're not, right? You're probably not unless you just run ungodly hot. But it is hard to fall in love when you fall out of love with someone. And you have to realize that, what are the alternatives, right? A lot of people don't fully understand that the alternative to not doing something is often substantially worse than doing that thing, right? Like, a lot of people have good white-collar jobs where they show up, they go to an office, it's air-conditioned, it's clean, they get to drink their coffee and eat their scones whenever they want, and they get paid $50 or $80K a year, solid living wage, right? And they hate it. And that may be because they're not fulfilled at their job, but at the same time, they got to realize, what's the alternative? They could be, working in the blistering heat or the frigid cold, or they could have a job making way less money, right? You have to, again, it goes back to being grateful, right? Like, I realize I am super grateful. I've, quote unquote, had to sit in this office for the last 9 months making content for all of you, but I've loved every minute of it. Because I know, what's the alternative? I could be doing nothing. I could be sitting on the couch watching Netflix by myself without even getting to chill with anybody. And, this is like one of the best existences I could have. And I think for a lot of people, they're actually living a reasonably good existence. And if you're not living a reasonably good existence right now, ask yourself why, and ask yourself how to change it. We live in an amazing time where really all you need is this little thing, this phone. All you need is a little phone. Doesn't have to be nice, fancy iPhone. It can be older iPhone. And you can make a business out of that. Find the things that you like and that you care about and start sharing your passion and motivation with other people. Reasonable example of this. I like Magic the Gathering cards, right? I have an Instagram page for my Magic the Gathering cards. Why? Because I like it. It takes me 2 minutes a day, right? And we got some number of thousands of followers for my silly Magic the Gathering account. I don't even talk about me on there, Jonathan Little. I just show off the cards. And people buy them from me at a markup. And I don't know, I probably make $3,000 or $4,000 a year from this, working literally 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes a day to make $3,000 or $4,000 a year doing something I kind of enjoy. If I wanted to actually do that substantially more, I could, and we'd probably be making $50,000 or $100K a year from it. But that's not what I want to do. I don't have time for it anyway. I'm doing it because I like it, right? So you need to find things that you like, that you want to be doing. You may be passionate about skateboarding or riding motorcycles or painting art or weaving baskets or Beanie Babies, right? Who knows what you're passionate about? And you gotta start sharing your passion with others and helping others enjoy their passions even more, right? For example, poker here, right? I hope I'm helping you all enjoy your passion of poker a little bit more, right? What's this Magic Insta? Daily Magic Muse. DAILYMAGICMUSE. I used to post every day. I don't post every day anymore. Kind of got lazy with it because life is busy. But you get what I'm saying, right? It's a hobby. It's a hobby. And it takes me no time, no effort, no energy. And people enjoy it. So recognize if you're not in a good spot in life, right? If you're not in a good spot in life, maybe you have a job you don't like, maybe you're in a relationship you don't like, whatever, you're allowed to change. And I know it is scary to change, especially if you don't necessarily have a decent safety net, right? But you can make a safety net on the side. Back whenever I was going to college, I didn't particularly love what I was studying in college. I was studying engineering and psychology. I didn't particularly love any of it. Didn't especially love going to school. And so on the side, I started doing poker, started playing poker and studying poker, right? On the side. I had no expectations to make money from it. I did it because I liked it. When I started teaching people poker a long time ago, I didn't have any expectations of making money from it. I did it because I liked it. And if you do things that you like and you get good at the things that you like and you share the things that you like with others, then maybe something can come from that, right? And I think the dream for a lot of people is to be able to do what you like as your career. Now, the problem with that is that it's way easier to get burnt out doing something all the time than it is as a hobby. If I had to sit there and deal with magic cards 8 hours a day every day, I don't know if I'd like it. A lot of people, if they sit there and have to play poker 8 hours a day every day, they don't like it. They like playing 8 hours a week, but not 8 hours a day. And it's important to test yourself and make sure that you actually enjoy that process. How much studying to grinding should you do if you play... Let's see, you want to study 1 to 3 hours a day. If you want to study... studying 3 hours a day is plenty. If you study 3 hours a day at pokercoaching.com, that's going to be more than almost everybody. So, that is fine. But listen, if you're not winning at something, you should be studying it a ton and not actually playing all that much. Imagine I wanted to become a doctor. Jonathan Little wants to learn how to do open heart surgery. Okay? If I want to learn how to do open heart surgery, should I go and start doing open heart surgery, or should I study how to do open heart surgery? Clearly, it'd be really dumb for me to start chopping up people's chests, right? So you got to study it first. Poker is not quite the same, but it's actually very similar. The neat thing about poker is that the downside is not someone dying. The downside is you lose your money. And a lot of people don't care all that much about their money. They say they do, but they actually don't. And if you don't want to lose your money, you sure better study a lot. Now, once you get good at it, you don't actually have to study it all that much anymore. It's still good and useful to study. And if you want to become the absolute best in the world, you still have to spend a lot of time studying. But there are plenty of poker players who beat 5-10 no limit live or beat $500 buy-in and $1,000 tournaments live who literally never study because they had a period in their life where they really devoted themselves to it for 3 or 4 years. They got pretty great, and they're good to go. They develop a lifelong skill. And, they'll still study sporadically, but they're not studying 3 hours a day, I can tell you that. How many sit and go should you play a month? It depends on your situation in life. Did they ever play on Lock Poker? Yeah. Did they ever settle up or just leave? I don't know what they did. Lock Poker is an old, shady poker site. They tried to get me to represent them back in the day. I looked at their site for about 3 seconds and said, oh no, oh no, oh no. Like some of the current American sites that operate in America, I look at their model, I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to screw my fans. And what happened to them? I don't know. I know all the pros that were working with them got a very, very bad reputation. Some of them repaired it. Some of them have just disappeared. Turns out when you promote something that robs everybody, it looks pretty bad on you. So anyway, I don't know what happened to them. I actually did a bankroll builder series a long time ago on them where I turned $300 into like $1,500 or something over the course of a few months playing an hour a week. Let's talk about that. Back a long time ago, I had the people kept saying, "Oh, do a bankroll challenge." That was all the rave back in the day. And I'm like, sure. So I did it. Played an hour a week, and I hated it. I despised having to sit there and for a table, 5 cent, 10 cent, no limit hold'em. Why? Because I didn't want to be doing it. I thought bankroll challenges were stupid to begin with because I've already turned $50 into millions. Why do I need to do it again? You know what I mean? Like what? I need to prove I can do it twice? Prove it to who? It's asinine. And so I thought the idea was asinine to begin with. I just did it because a lot of people said they thought it was fun because, I don't know, it was other influencers who had not made a lot of money were trying to do it. And it was boring. It was boring to me. The stakes were not exciting at all. Not that I necessarily care about the stakes, but it wasn't exciting. And it was a monotonous grind. A very monotonous grind. And I don't know, it wasn't fun. Didn't enjoy it. So I didn't do it. We killed it after a while, especially once the site killed itself, right? But you got to find things that you enjoy. And if you don't enjoy it, don't do it, I'm telling you, if you don't enjoy it, try to find a way out of there. Let's see. Should I manage my students' bankrolls and make them a schedule? I'm certainly not going to hold on to your money for you. Absolutely not. Should I make you a schedule? I mean, that's something that's like really, really individual and personal for every person, right? I'm not going to make a tournament schedule for everybody because everybody has a different schedule and they live in different places. Not going to make a cash game schedule for everyone for the same reasons, right? How is grinding 5 cent, 10 cent different from 5.10? It's just like boring. It's grinding it out all day. I don't know. I mean, like, the thing, I don't know. It's like people didn't really care all that much about it. It's not like it was an insanely viewed thing back in the day. And, I didn't think it was all that educational. I was probably way less good at teaching back in the day. I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it. Don't know what to tell you. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't fun. Wasn't fun for me. Royal said he'll hold your money for you if you want him to. There you go. Send your money to Royal at, I'll take your money at paypal.com, and he'll hold on to your money for you. That said, Marcelo, I don't actually think it's a bad idea. Essentially what you're asking is, should we manage your money like a poker backing company would manage your money? Because they do. If you are a backee for a site like pocar.com, which I'm an investor and advisor in, POCARR.com, check it out. They manage your money, and they set your schedule, with your help, of course, and they give you specific things to study every day. They give you a lot of hand-holding, because if you do not win, they do not win, right? So if you want something like that, if you want like a very, very regimented schedule, they'll essentially force you to become a professional poker player. Check out the various backing sites, like Pocar. They crush it, and I'm happy to be involved with them. That said, it takes a lot of individual work. They spend a lot of money on managers for all of the players, and it's a giant operation. I do not have that giant operation in place. Consider doing a breakfast meet and greet. John, you may not know this. We used to do a lot of breakfast meet and greets. Funny enough, I met Louis Philippe, who runs the poker coaching study groups. I met him in Montreal. I did a meet and greet there where, before every WPT or whatever tournament I used to go to, we would do a meet and greet. And there was me, him, a few of his friends, a few other people from Montreal, and Mike Sexton showed up back in the day. Rest in peace. And it was a great breakfast. I actually did a meet and greet in Nottingham. Last poker trip I took before COVID. James Romero showed up. James Romero was not a poker coaching coach yet back then, but he liked what I was doing, showed up for the meet and greet. I don't know, 8 or 10 people showed up. We had breakfast at some Italian place across the street from Dusk Till Dawn, so that was pretty cool. So that was nice. Can you talk about tracking your results? Get a various bankroll tracker. Keep track of, if you're talking about cash games here. I mean, I don't know. Like, look, get Hold'em Manager if you're playing online, or Poker Tracker. If you're playing live, just Excel spreadsheet's fine. Figure out amount of hours you play. Figure out how much you won or lost. Figure out your big blinds per hour and or 100 hands. Usually hours a little bit easier for live. And go from there. You feel so depressed when you run bad for 2 or 3 days in a row. Any tips? Yeah, you got to get over it. Realize, we discussed this earlier, I've had 6 or month and a half stretches where I've just like literally lost every day. Month and a half. You're complaining about 3 days? 3 days is nothing. 3 days is actually nothing. If you're playing 5,000 hands of poker a day, you're going to have 3-day losing stretches all the time. Often. So, I mean, you got to get over it. You're being a baby is what it amounts to. I hate to break it to you. I hate to be so blunt with it, but you can't get depressed over every little thing. You have to develop thick skin to play poker and recognize very often that you do not control the results at all when you play poker beyond the preparation you do ahead of time, where you show up and you play great. And sometimes when you play great, you're still going to lose, especially if you play tournaments. If you play tournaments, you're going to have all sorts of losing stretches. Just how it goes, right? Especially if you play live. If you play live, it's even way worse. If you play live, you just don't put in very many hands, right? Essentially, the results even out over time in terms of hands. In terms of hands, takes a lot longer in tournaments because you don't actually play all that many very vital hands in tournaments. Because like in a tournament, if you think about it, you may play one or two big hands per tournament, right? So you're really only playing 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 big hands per day, whereas in cash games you play many more substantial hands. Like last Sunday, right? I had a 6th place and a 9th place in tournaments with like 1,000 people. And if you run a little bit hotter, you win $100,000. You run a little bit less hot, you lose. Ran like I did, you win a little bit, right? And you have to be cool with that. Like, I fully recognize that Sunday could have been a big loser if I just lost a flip earlier in those 2 tournaments where I made deep runs. Or it could have been a gigantic winner if I just ran a little bit hotter towards the end, right? All right. There's a really juicy 1-3 home game. However, it plays really big for you. You have trouble adjusting when you only have $500 when there's a $10 or $25 straddle. Well, understand you're playing shallow stacked poker then. Check out my tournament masterclass discussing shallow stacks play. That'll go a long way to helping you with that. But recognize if they're just like blasting around, you can just play kind of tight and you'll be fine. Can you learn good fundamentals from playing Zoom poker? Sure. You can also learn fundamentals from studying. I would definitely recommend studying instead of getting in there and losing a bunch of money. You don't have to lose a lot of money to get good at poker. Playing poker when you don't know what you're doing is not a good way to get good quickly and efficiently. It's a great way to lose a bunch of money. And I don't want all of you to lose a bunch of money. Stop losing a bunch of money, please. Please. You don't have to lose a bunch of money. I think a lot of people think they're just going to sit down and start crushing the game, and you're not. Especially a game like Zoom Poker where almost nobody wins to begin with. Like, if you're going to play that, you might as well just play against a bot or something and then get experience playing against the bot for free. Because all your opponents are playing well. I'm not saying they're bots, but they're all playing pretty well. If you have a tiny bankroll, should you play sit and goes or cash games before tournaments? Probably, because there's way less variance in that. Should you move up if you have an EV big blind per 100 to 14? If you're bankrolled to move up higher, you probably should. 14 EV big blind per 100 over 75,000 hands is pretty good, and it's probably fine for you to move up a little bit. Are cheaters using things like Zoom to steal money? The nice thing about no limit hold'em specifically is that the value of collusion is actually very, very low. In games like Pot Limit Omaha, or especially limit games like Limit Omaha 8 or better, where a lot of cards are known, colluding can become a detrimental thing. Because like if you know all your outs are dead, you fold, right? And if you know all your outs are live, you don't fold. But in no limit hold'em, I'm not so concerned about collusion. Because things like, how do they even collude you in no limit hold'em? Like you raise, someone re-raises, someone else re-raises, you fold your initial raise. Every once in a while, you're going to have aces, and you just stack them, right? So that's not useful. Maybe on the river, they can somehow bet, raise, re-raise you. Well, they got to get to the river to begin with. It's like, no, I'm not worried about collusion. I remember a long time ago, I was playing on Poker Stars, and I won a bunch. I was winning at sit and goes back in the day. And they just like randomly sent me like $6,000 saying that you've been colluded against by some poker ring. And to be fair, in things like sit and goes, maybe there are ICM implications that you can push around a little bit. But like I was winning in the games, and people are still trying to cheat me, and I'm still winning. It's like, what do you want from me? All right, we're beating the games despite people colluding. And look, I can tell you, like colluding is not all that of a concern for no limit Texas Hold'em at least, just because it's like how do you even do it? There's like no way to actually produce a substantial profit by doing that. A lot of people think that if they're not winning, it must be because they're getting cheated or because the site's rigged, or something like that. But in reality, if you're not winning, it's probably because you're not good and because the game takes a rake. Okay? It's A-okay to lose because of the rake. And you have to realize that sometimes you are just not skilled enough to beat the game you are trying to beat. You have to be very honest with yourself, right? I struggle with this when I'm playing like $100,000 buy-in tournaments. I haven't played a ton of them. Whenever I play in them, very often they're the softest ones because, I'm game selecting. But even then, you have to wonder, am I actually good enough to beat this game, and is it worth the risk? And it probably isn't. So you know what? I'm not in there blasting $100,000 buy-ins all the time. Sometimes it's intelligent to be wise, right? So anyway, be smart. Be smart. All right. Well, I have to go. Hope you all have a great day. You dug out your pod collection? All right. Ready to swap for autographed poker cards? Oh boy. That's me for today. Hope you enjoy yourselves. Make the most of your experience, okay? Look, you only have one life. Please don't spend your life doing things that you don't like, things that you don't care about, things you don't want to be doing. Recognize, a lot of you have some free time. Some. Maybe not a ton, but some. An hour a day. Almost everybody has an hour a day that they can kind of do whatever they want. Take some time and spend that hour per day studying something that can help you long term. Maybe it's learning a new language. Maybe it's learning to play poker better. Maybe it's getting in good physical shape. Whatever it is, spend an hour a day getting good at that thing. And after a year, you will have put 365 hours into getting good at that thing. And you're going to be better than most people at that thing if you devote an hour a day to it. And the nice thing about an hour a day is that's quite often the most people can absorb anyway, to some extent, right? I mean, maybe you can absorb more, but if you're devoting an hour per day to something, you will get decent at it over the course of a year. And so come next year, December 18th, I hope some of you have developed some sort of skill out there that will help you succeed more in the world. And that's what we're going for. I'm trying to help all of you crush the games and enjoy life. So have a great day. Enjoy yourselves. Thanks for being here. Have a happy holiday season. I'll be back Monday, bright and early, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, with another episode of A Little Coffee. Click like, click subscribe. Forgot about that. Check out pokercoaching.com/free. If you are on my email list, we'll be having a holiday sale soon. Also, if you're a Poker Coaching member, we're giving away 10 $500 bankrolls right now. You should already be able to get in the giveaway. I think it's at the top of the dashboard. We sent out an email for it. So if you're a Poker Coaching member, get in there. We're giving away $5,000 in cash, $500 a pop to you all. Jonathan Little is Santa Claus sometimes, I suppose. Have a great day. And I'll see all of you again bright and early, Monday morning, 9 a.m. for another episode of Little Coffee.